Tonight on CTV News at 6. Sudbury residents start a petition taking aim at their building's landlord.
Well, there's been an ongoing cockroach infestation for over 5 years. It's got significantly worse in the past, 2 months.
They're calling for exterminators to treat the entire property. Plus, a training school is expanding its facilities at the Jack Garland Airport.
We have somewhere in the range of 45 to 50 trainees happening at all times.
We'll have more on the Flight Academy, who is reaching new heights in North Bay. And Premier Ford calls on Prime Minister Carney to extend the gas tax cut through the end of the year.
CTV News at 6 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Marina is off this week. A Sault Ste. Marie security company is calling on both upper levels of government after multiple assaults hit local security officers in the last month. As CTV's Corey Nordstrom tells us, national officials say this has become a silent epidemic among the industry.
Daniel Laprade has worked security for over 2 decades. The founder of the Sault's Casey Security says things have changed in recent years, becoming much more dangerous for him and his staff.
We had an incident happen earlier in July where a guard was injured by removing somebody from one of our sites just for trespassing, the routine thing, right? So we have to remove them from the store. And that person turned around, punched him in the face, assaulted him.
Officials of the Canadian Association of Security Professionals say the industry has grown in recent years, and so have attacks against their personnel.
For every worker that is assaulted, 5 security guards are assaulted and 10 police officers are assaulted.
Laprade says security guards are allowed to defend themselves, including use of force, but he says the training and regulations to educate security personnel is lacking in this area.
In Ontario, basic security training is only 40 hours, and you can do it all online now. And you have to have your basic first aid. That's your minimum requirements. Now, if you want to have a baton and handcuffs and use tools like that, you have to go through use of force training. But another issue we have here in Ontario is there's no provincially regulated use of force course.
Jensen adds that numerous provinces are in the process of modernizing their training, though it can't come soon enough for the safety of security professionals and the public.
People are just, are not as patient, not as forgiving, and so they just escalate to violence much more quicker. And security guards, in my opinion, don't have the training to handle that.
Though the number of incidents involving harm done to security guards is on the rise, there is no regulated reporting system. Officials believe that the amount of assaults against these workers could be exponentially higher than the figures currently out there. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A 29-year-old is facing charges of assaulting a peace officer after an incident at Algoma Remand. It happened Tuesday morning just before 10 a.m. Police say the accused threw a cup of toilet water and urine at 2 of the facility's employees. He was charged with 2 counts of assault and failing to comply, only to reportedly do it later again that afternoon around 4:45. He's now facing multiple charges and is continuing to be held at remand. Some residents of a Sudbury apartment building have submitted a petition to management expressing concerns about cockroaches. They want the entire building included in an extermination program instead of unit-by-unit treatments. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
Miranda Thornton says she is preparing her apartment for another treatment to get rid of cockroaches. She says it's a problem she has been dealing with since moving in. She showed us sticky traps she has set.
Well, there's been an ongoing cockroach infestation for over 5 years. It's got significantly worse in the past, 2 months. They sprayed on July 6th, just my unit. The problem is that they're not spraying the entire building.
She also shared a picture of her teen son who was sleeping in a mosquito net tent.
It's just been very stressful. It's hard to sleep. You're afraid that cockroaches are crawling on you. My son's sleeping in a tent, so actually now he's at my mom's. He had to get completely out of here.
Thornton says she's contacted the city and public health. In a statement, public health says provincial underfunding has forced the health unit to focus on certain services, adding in part, as a result, in communities with local government, public health no longer directly responds to complaints about rodent or insect infestations. These concerns are typically addressed through local bylaws. In a statement, the city says in part, if a resident is experiencing an insect or rodent infestation, bylaw services will investigate the complaint and may issue an order requiring the property owner to remedy the situation. If a property owner fails to comply with an order, the city can take enforcement action in accordance with the Property Standards Bylaw. We reached out to Whitehall Apartments and received this response from its legal representative. Presently, the landlord has a legal matter pending with Ms. Thornton. Therefore, it is not appropriate for the landlord to comment. Thornton says that legal issue is a Human Rights Tribunal application she filed over an unrelated issue. She has also filed a petition with management of Whitehall Apartments to treat the entire 2 buildings on Pine Street, signed by some tenants and guests of the apartments.
A lot of people wouldn't sign the petition because they're afraid of retaliation or eviction, so it's not really reflective of the actual amount of units affected since so many wouldn't sign it.
Saying she can't take it anymore, Miranda is now going to stay with her father in Parry Sound. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
The North Bay Regional Health Center has issued a wait time alert for the emergency department. In a release, the hospital says wait times in Emerge could be more than 10 hours for non-urgent cases. The hospital is redirecting non-urgent patients to local walk-in clinics and primary care doctors. Despite the hospital's recruitment efforts, it says continued physician staffing challenges in the emergency department are a factor. Off the heels of the International Test Pilot School relocating its tactical training center to North Bay, another flight school is setting up shop at the Jack Garland Airport. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
North Bay's Jack Garland Airport is quickly becoming a hub for pilot training.
It's going to be something very positive.
Cygnet Aviation Academy, which uses a modern fleet of Diamond aircraft and advanced flight simulation technology to get their pilots ready for the sky, is planning a North Bay expansion in the next few weeks.
At the moment, we're partnered with Jazz and Porter. We also have what we call our free agent program, which is students who have decided that they will come to train with us without being pre-selected, and then we'll look for opportunities elsewhere in the industry.
The flight training school trains students with little to no prior flying experience to become airline-ready first officers.
We have somewhere in the range of 45 to 50 trainees happening at all times. We take in cohorts in January, May, and August each year, so it's a continuous process. The integrated program that we deliver lasts for 20 months.
Citing the city's military, commercial aviation routes, and the presence of its sister company, Voyager Aviation, Cygnet feels this is the appropriate next step in its journey.
While we've been building our business, we are bringing our aircraft up to our sister company, Voyager Aviation in North Bay. So we've spent a lot of time around the North Bay Airport.
The airport says the move will open new opportunities within the city, writing, their decision and announcement demonstrate that YYB North Bay Airport continues to be where businesses are able to expand their operations and successfully grow. It's why we're excited they've decided to join others here already, augmenting existing local strengths and operations. Those existing strengths and operations include the International Test Pilot School, which opened its doors in July, training NATO and allied fighter jet pilots. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
All right, time for our first check on weather with CTV's Tony Remand. Tony, how's it looking out there?
Hi there, Ian, and good evening, everyone. Not bad. Mix of sun and cloud, but things are going to get unsettled overnight and into the weekend as we take a look at our forecast radar. Pockets of activity, expect showers along with the risk of thunderstorms across most of our broadcast region. The temperature is also going to drop a little bit. Should be 24 degrees as a daytime high, but you'll see those temperatures 23, 22, 21. And unfortunately for some communities, you're going to see rather gray days ahead. More weather details later in our show. Ian.
There's more to come on CTV News at 6. For now, let's go to a live shot of Sault Ste. Marie. This shot of the bridge coming into Canada, courtesy of the Bridge Authority, and it doesn't look like a lot of people entering the country at this hour in the Sault this time of night. But what a beautiful looking night so far. Hopefully it'll continue. We'll find out from Tony either way. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. A Sudbury couple who applied to have their property taxes canceled on grounds they live below the poverty line have been denied. The Ontario Assessment Review Board rejected their claim after uncovering the couple had a net annual income of more than $23,000 after expenses and had more than $28,000 in their checking account. The board ruled they were living with an income of almost $150,000 above the extreme poverty income cutoff. You can read more about this story on our website at ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. As the price of gas continues to fluctuate, the clock is ticking on a federal measure to ease the pain at the pumps. Ontario's premier is adding his voice to those calling on the Prime Minister to extend the gas tax suspension or to make it permanent. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
It's a simple errand that's felt like punishment the last few months.
I don't remember the last time I filled my tank all the way.
I must spend money in the $800 monthly gas bill.
The uncertainty causes so much stress on us, especially when it comes to people who commute long distances.
Prices pushed ever higher through the U.S. war with Iran. In mid-April, Mark Carney's government pulled the brakes on some taxes folded into the pump price.
This will remove up to 10 cents per litre on gasoline and 4 cents per litre on diesel fuel.
Ontario first shaved about 6 cents off its gas tax in 2022, making it permanent last year. The federal tax break expires on Labor Day.
We should cut it permanently because that reduced the cost of goods being shipped from one place to another.
Months later, Premier Doug Ford has put that in writing, asking Mark Carney to extend relief until at least the new year, if not forever. The federal Conservative leader made a similar call yesterday.
Get rid of all gas taxes for all of the year to save Canadians 25 cents a litre, $20 a fill-up, and $500 by Christmas.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation applauds Premier Ford's pitch. They hope other provincial and territorial leaders will pipe up.
If the other premiers join in on this call to keep this gas tax cut permanent, it would increase the pressure on Prime Minister Carney to actually follow through with this.
There's no firm answer right now from the feds on whether or not they'll make the change, but a spokesperson for the Minister of Finance writes in part that the government will continue to pursue measures with the provinces that advance its growth and competitiveness agenda, lower costs and the sources of them in a challenging global economic environment. From the pump, a plea for a reprieve, however small.
Anything you can do for Canadians to help reduce the cost of living, gas prices included, would be, very welcome by Canadians.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A firefighting tradition took center stage in Lively last night as Greater Sudbury Fire Services welcomed a brand new engine to the fleet. Crews gathered at Station 6 for a traditional push-in ceremony, manually rolling the new apparatus into its bay. Firefighters say the truck brings advanced capabilities and modern safety features to better serve the area.
Well, this is fantastic. It's an investment unlike we've seen in years. Our other engine was getting a bit aged. So this has like the latest technology, even things like touch panels to control water and pressures and all these things, like modern technologies that keep us safe. And so the crew is very excited, as you can see.
England adds a new truck has been in the making for at least 15 years. A big donation today for the work being done at the Cobalt Historical Society. Lifelong resident Gino Chitteroni presenting a check to the group for $5,000. The donation was made in memory of Albert Chitteroni, who's reportedly an ardent supporter of the town's mining heritage. The money will go towards the restoration of the pan silver headframe. Well, we've been telling you all week about Her Northern Voice in Sudbury the past few weeks, and the festival is now underway at Bell Park. Amanda Hicks is on location. Amanda, tell us more about what we can expect this weekend.
For the last few days, satellite performances have taken over across the city, featuring lots of female talent. And now Her Northern Voice has taken over the Grace Hartman, the amphitheater here at Bell Park. And a lot of the festival has been building up to this. For the first time in the festival's 5-year history, there will be 3 headliners. To talk a little bit more about that, let's bring in Festival Director Amy Ogston. Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. We're super excited to talk about Her Northern Voice.
Absolutely. So, pardon the pun, but set the stage for this weekend. Talk about what festival goers can expect.
Well, they can expect a great time of listening to great music. We have starting off tonight with Lee Aaron. Tomorrow we have Susan Eglokart, and then closing out the festival on Sunday is Chantel Kraviazek. But even before the headliners and the pre-openers, we have free live music starting tomorrow. It starts at noon, it goes until about 4:45, and then after that our ticketed event starts. But so many free things are going on this weekend.
And I know the festival kicked off on Tuesday. I guess just, talk about what's the energy like backstage right now?
Backstage is pretty exciting because having 3 headliners and just the excitement of having famous people. We had people checking in. Susan was here doing her, Lee was here doing her sound check earlier, and people were stopping in and listening, and then people wanted to know how they could buy tickets. So I think there's an excitement in the city that more and more people are hearing that we have some amazing women headliners coming into Sudbury, and so they want to be part of it.
And one thing you and I have talked about before is just how much the festival has grown in such a short amount of time. I mean, you mentioned it started as a one-day event, now it's grown to 6. How does it feel to you as the festival director, just watching its growth like this?
Well, I mean, I've only been involved for 3 years, but I will say this year is the biggest year with adding all of the new stuff that we've added, adding vendors, having the headliners, having free family activities, food vendors, craft vendors. It's kind of crazy, but it's a lot of fun, and it's nice that we're offering a free component too, so that anybody can come and enjoy the free music, because our local artists are so talented, and they get to come and enjoy just some great music and have some fun, bring their kids down for some inflatables, and we're doing karaoke tomorrow so families can come down and sing, and maybe we have some future Northern Voice artists that will be in karaoke, but it's just going to be a great time.
Lots to enjoy for sure. Yeah. Amy, thanks again so much, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
That was Amy Ogston, Festival Director of Her Northern Voice. Coming up, I'm going to have some interviews with some performers. You're not going to want to miss it. Sending it back to you for now, Ian.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Amanda. Let's head over to the Weather Center for a check on current conditions with Tony Rama. Tony, looks like they're having some decent weather down there.
They sure are, Ian, and that's going to continue this evening. However, overnight, that's a different matter. Let's take a look at our current temperatures right across our broadcast region, starting with Timmins, 28 degrees, still warm in through Cochrane, Moosonee, Kapuskasing's coming in at 27, also 27 degrees at this hour in through Chapleau, slightly cooler for Wawa, 24. Actually, 24 is the normal high for this time of year, so slightly above normal, 26 in through Sault Ste. Marie. Parry Sound, mostly sunny and 28 degrees as we head north to North Bay, 27 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, 1 degree cooler in through Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. And as we slide on over to Greater Sudbury, sun and cloud, 24 degrees, spot on this time of year, and a bunch of 24s in through Espanola, Elliott Lake, and Gore Bay. Lots of sunshine. Enjoy it while you can, because things are going to change come the weekend. More weather details still ahead. Ian.
Thanks, Tony. Next on CTV News at 6. A Sick Kids employee in Toronto has been arrested for charges related to child abuse. And CTV News has learned more on what's happening involving those trade talks between Canada and the U.S. For the second time in the span of a few weeks, Toronto police have arrested an employee at the Hospital for Sick Children on charges related to child sexual abuse. The Sex Crimes Unit launched an investigation back in October 2024. Police accuse a suspect of contacting a 15-year-old victim through social media and then making inappropriate comments and sending explicit images. 55-year-old Antonio Alvin de la Cruz was arrested and charged with offenses including luring a person under 18 by means of telecommunication and accessing and possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. Sick Kids Hospital says de la Cruz was a member of its housekeeping team who was placed on leave and subsequently resigned. The hospital calls the situation, quote, deeply disturbing, particularly given the recent criminal charges involving a Sick Kids physician. 44-year-old Dr. Dylan Dysakanya was arrested last month and charged with accessing and possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. Sick Kids adds in a statement, to our knowledge, the two employees did not know or work with one another. Toronto Police Service has indicated that there is no evidence linking the alleged criminal charges. We're getting a better sense of what could be included in a potential trade deal with the United States. CTV News has confirmed specific details of the negotiations. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
After 90 minutes of intense trade talks in Washington between top Canadian and American officials, some details are emerging about what cards Canada is willing to play.
This is about concessions, if there's to be concessions on both sides. It can't be a one-way street, which is what the American position has been up until now.
Industry sources tell CTV News that Canada is willing to drop counter tariffs on autos and convince the provinces to put American alcohol back on shelves if the U.S. agrees to reduce steep tariffs on key sectors such as forestry, autos, steel, and aluminum.
Well, I think we all heard Doug Ford a few weeks ago in D.C. in a scrum say, look, I understand the impact and the power of this booze ban, and I will reverse it if we get peace on the CUSMA and the full trade war.
After meeting with the U.S. trade representative, Minister Dominic LeBlanc says the focus is on striking a comprehensive deal that addresses all the sectoral tariffs.
Je crois en la gestion de l'offre, c'est important.
While the Prime Minister continues to defend supply management, negotiators have discussed changing how dairy quotas are managed.
Canada's nasty.
If that's not enough to prevent the Trump administration from bringing in new 50% tariffs that will hit $28 billion of Canadian goods like hockey equipment, sources say the federal government is working on retaliatory measures, such as blocking the U.S. from getting preferential access to critical minerals, energy, and big procurement projects.
Canada is going in a position of strength. We were able to start restructuring our economy to start building a new Canada over the past year. We see the numbers coming out. It's working.
Other than negotiating with the Americans, the provinces will also have to be convinced to come on side. We're just hearing from Quebec's premier that province won't put U.S. booze back on the shelves unless they get a deal that's fair to Quebec. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Some very encouraging economic news today. Canada's job market got a big boost in July. 75,000 new jobs were added last month, and that helped push the unemployment rate down to 6.4%. The highest unemployment rate was up in Nunavut at 11.3%. The lowest rate was Saskatchewan at an even 6%. The retail sector led the way with more than 21,000 new jobs last month. Increases were also reported in finance, in science tech services, construction, and in manufacturing. Youth unemployment remained around 12.6% in July. Iran's president revealed that communication with the country's new supreme leader has become, quote, very difficult in an interview aired on Iranian state TV Wednesday.
مدیران و یا فرماندهانی رو میزنن که جان فدا واقعا جان.
Mojtaba Hanameh has not appeared in public since taking over as Iran's supreme leader after his father Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran. Mojtaba reportedly suffered serious injuries to his face and legs in the attack, according to 3 people close to his inner circle. Police in Thailand say a student opened fire at a high school near Bangkok, leaving at least 7 people dead and several others hurt. A witness says students hid inside a classroom after hearing gunshots from another building. Police later knocked on the door and escorted them to safety. Police gathered outside the school comforting one another as police and emergency crews remained at the scene. As authorities continue to work to confirm the full number of casualties, Thailand's health minister says at least 22 people were injured, with 9 of them in critical condition. There's more news ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Tony Rama.
Thanks for that, Ian. Yes, let's take a look at our forecast radar. Beautiful sunshine for the most part right across our broadcast region, but things are going to become a little more unsettled, especially tomorrow morning in through Sault Ste. Marie, Chapleau, Timmins, along with the far north. You can expect showers, risk of thunderstorms. Then we start to get some clearing in through Saturday in the evening. However, Sunday is going to be another unsettled day. It'll sweep in through Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, along with North Bay. Bay, Timmins and Englehart. You might also see some shower activity. It's all because of a low pressure system, and it's going to move, and it's going to take its time too, through our broadcast region. And that is going to give us the clouds, the showers, risk of thunderstorms, and after we'll get some clearing, and temperatures are going to drop ever so slightly. Now, here's our overnight conditions. Starting with Sudbury, a chance of showers. That's going to happen. In through Sault Ste. Marie, much the same, 17 degrees, still the overnight low on the high side. In through Timmins, 16 degrees for Timiskaming Shores, 16 degrees, a chance of rain. Also rain in through North Bay. Moosonee, this is what you can expect. 16 degrees, a chance of showers. Cap and Hearst, a few showers on the way. In through Wawa, 15. Still, the overnight low is on the high side. And Gore Bay, 19, rain, and Parry Sound shower activity overnight. Here's your 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Sun, cloud, rain, and risk of thunderstorms. 23 degrees. The normal high for this time of year is 24. So we don't hit that until Tuesday, when we start to see a little more sunshine. And then we kind of take a step back, some clouds, some showers. Next Friday, though, looking pretty good at this point. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 30% chance of shower activity, a little cooler, which is rather nice. We start to see some sunshine, and through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we regress ever so slightly. Wednesday, sun, cloud, and you know what? Chance of some rain. And Thursday, Friday looks pretty good at this point. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, risk of thunderstorms. It's going to be a soggy weekend, but again, you'll see sun, cloud, rain. That'll be the trend. Shower activity on Wednesday next week. Thursday, a drop in temperature, and then it ticks up on Friday. For Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, gray day, risk of thunderstorms. Tomorrow, 22 degrees. Temperature just ticks up by 1 degree, but still it's going to be unsettled, to say the least. Friday, again, clouds, showers, 21 degrees when it should be 24 this time of year. And finally, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Overcast conditions tomorrow, risk of thunderstorms as that system moves through. On Sunday, you might get some clearing, ever so little, some sunshine there, and then Tuesday, more sunny conditions. But again, that's going to be tempered by the clouds and the showers also continuing through Wednesday. Friday, though, next Friday, 23, when it should be 24. And our picture of the day is a good one. It comes to us from Todd Rollins of Timiskaming, Quebec, and he says, a foggy morning. How true. Look at that beautiful shot, though. That's great. Thanks so much, Todd. And if you'd like to send pictures to us, you can scan the QR code to the left there, or send them in to us at weather.pictures@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news still ahead. You're watching CTV News.
A British Columbia father is traveling the country to raise awareness about a rare disease. CTV's Angela Gemmell has his story tonight.
Stalinjit Gill arrives at the Gurdwara in Sudbury with a small team of supporters. He's traveling the country advocating for his son and others like him.
He's walking on his toes most of the time, and he has a little issue with his balance. But, right now, he's like any other normal kid, except his difficulty to walk.
3-year-old Gurmo Gill has spastic paraplegia, a neurodegenerative condition affecting the long nerves of his spinal cord, impacting his ability to walk and talk. Researchers at McGill University are working to develop a genetic treatment for Gurmo that could possibly be a cure.
This is a very new, innovative kind of treatment. It hasn't been tried before for brain diseases like the one that Gurmo has. Gurmo has a specific mutation in a specific gene that causes a disease. What we are trying to do is to change it back to normal.
When they started looking into their son's condition, Stalinjit says the family discovered others' struggles with rare diseases. According to the Canadian Organization for Rare Disorders, 3.2 million Canadians live with a rare disease. 2/3 of those are children. The team is now traveling across the country to raise awareness and collect letters from others. The idea came from Gurmo's older sister.
This journey is about not just Gurmo, not about my son. It's about each and every Canadian who's fighting a rare disease, whether they are children, whether they are adults, or at any stage in their lives. So we are hoping for best for everybody.
The leadership of the Sikh temple in Sudbury invited Stalinjit and his team to stop at the Gurdwara for prayer and community. before they head to their next stop in Mississauga.
People like these tiny community gives you more and more hope and strength to do these kind of journeys.
Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Nawsum University is in need of a few volunteers, 200 or so, to play patience to help their students learn at both the Sudbury and Thunder Bay campuses.
These would be like coming in to see your regular healthcare provider. So families will be asked questions about the pregnancy, delivery, the child's milestones, and then a good portion of the session is made up of the physical exam, which will be guided by a family physician or a pediatrician and small groups of learners of about 4, max 5 learners in the group.
Many of their programs are full at this point, but they're still searching for families with newborns for their sessions on September 22nd. Nawsum says patients will be helping future doctors learn, but one big requirement is that the child needs to be in good health, as the students are still early in their education and need a good baseline understanding. The university has been doing these sessions since 2005 and says the community is a major support for these programs. A judge in New Mexico has ordered Facebook and Instagram parent company Meta to pay more than $500 million into a teen mental health fund. The $567 million U.S. decision follows a landmark civil trial by the state of New Mexico that Meta lost in March. Meta is accused of intentionally including features in its platforms that feed social media addiction and for failing to prevent child sexual exploitation on its sites. Meta says it will appeal the decision. All right, let's head back to Bell Park now as Amanda Hicks kicks off her Northern Voice Musical Festival. Amanda.
Welcome back to Bell Park. There's a lot going on here, getting ready for night 1 of the headliners for Her Northern Voice. We've got sound check going on. People are starting to filter in. Gates opened a couple of hours ago, but it's all about the female talent, of course. Let's bring in one of the performers who's going to be performing this weekend, Leanne Koskela from Tea and Tequila. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I guess just talk about what it means to perform at a festival like this. You know, you're from Sudbury, you're local. This is all about elevating female voices. What does it mean to you?
It means so much. I think this is the most incredible thing to have something that focuses, like you said, on empowering female voices here, especially in Northern Ontario, but we do have groups from all over. And especially as a female, I think it's so important for the younger kids to see women in these positions and doing these things, following their dreams, and just having fun and rocking it.
Absolutely. And you know, you're going to be performing tomorrow at the market. What can fans expect from a Tea and Tequila performance?
Well, Tea and Tequila is always a good time. We love audience participation. We love getting kids up or people up with the tambourine and singing along with us, because we've got those familiar tunes that everybody knows and just loves. So that's what we're really looking forward to. But at 9 a.m. might be a little struggle for me, so I'll have some tea with me.
Nice, awesome. And you know, we've got like Chantal Krabiasik performing this weekend. We've got Lee Aaron tonight. We've got Susan Aglukar tomorrow. Is there one that you're in particular looking forward to seeing? Because of course you're a performer, but you're a fan as well.
Absolutely, and all three are going to be spectacular, I know. But tonight, Lee Aaron, I'm a rock girl at heart, so this is the one that I'm particularly excited about.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Leanne.
Thank you. Enjoy, everyone.
And break a leg this weekend.
Appreciate it.
That was Leanne Koskela from Tea and Tequila, who will be performing at the Sudbury Market tomorrow morning. And we've got more coming up from Bell Park. You got to stay tuned. Sending it back to you, Ian.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Thanks, Amanda. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. There's a new trinket box at a Sudbury park. The idea of an 8-year-old girl looking to add a little color to the area. The Canadian Junior Football League is kicking off a new season with a special game in North Bay tomorrow. The Battle of the Bay will feature the Sault College Cougars versus the Ottawa Sooners. The game will be a homecoming for 2 of the Cougars players, Aaron Beachy and Mathieu Berube. This is the second season Sault College has had a team in the league. Regular season play starts August 15th in the Sault. An 8-year-old in Chelmsford has put up a trinket box at Berthiaume Playground for all to enjoy.
You want to look at the trinket box? Sure.
Morgan LaMarche and her mother saw the concept on social media, found some in town, but wanted to bring the idea to their community as well. So far, the family says it's been a hit and trinkets have already been swapped.
I've got a box and stickers to put it up, and now we have the box to let people trade. That they can do whatever they want in it and just to put stuff back in.
It's only the second day and it's been pretty busy, so she's enjoyed seeing all the kids come and go, and I think it's been a great thing for the community.
The idea with the trinket trade box is to share toys with the community, and it will have different items at every look. The trade box is overflowing with items like stress ball stickers and even bracelets handmade by 8-year-old Morgan. A new play on stage in Sudbury is looking at homelessness through a new lens. Local playwright Sarah Garchor wrote City Medicine in collaboration with people experiencing homelessness and those who support the unhoused population. It aims to give a new perspective on what that experience is like while also shedding light on the toxic drug supply in the city.
When they leave City Medicine, they're not going to feel more angry than they already do at what is happening. They're not going to feel more sad than they already do at what is happening.
I also think that it's going to really resonate with them because they're going to see that it touches everybody, not just one walk of life. It's all walks of life. And I think it's also going to possibly, with hopes, bring the community together.
City Medicine is on stage now at the Refectorio until August 29th. It looked like a wild time Wednesday night as Timmins came out to raise some food and funds for a great cause and to hear from one of its own favorite sons. Three-time Juno Award nominee Preston Pablo there getting some help singing his hit song, Flowers Need Rain. Pablo, in conjunction with the city of Timmins, held a parking lot pop-up performance to raise money for the Anti-Hunger Coalition in Timmins. The performance was free with a donation. Pablo took to his social media last night to write a thank you to his hometown, saying in part, "Together we raised money and collected donations for our very own Anti-Hunger Coalition Timmins and sang songs together as the sun set beautifully over our home. My heart has never been so full." And we're hearing initial counts of monetary donations have put the evening at well above $3,000 raised, combined with a van full of food for Christmas baskets and food banks. Well done, Timmins. The Snowbirds are set for their final Canadian flight. The Abbotsford International Air Show has been part of the Snowbird story from the beginning. The Snowbirds debuted there in 1971, making it a fitting stop on this farewell tour. The team will be disbanding at the end of October while the military replaces the iconic but aging CT-114 Tudor with a newer jet. The Snowbirds have a few air shows left, but this will be their final showing in Canada. Barbra Streisand is adding to her already famous talents with a children's book. It's called And By the Way. The book follows a sweet grandparent-grandchild pair as they play, splash, and contemplate life's most important truths. The book is due out on store shelves in the spring. A Grammy winner is taking people to the cosmos with her new album release, and David Daniel gives us a sneak peek at Robert Pattinson's new film in our Hollywood Report.
Predator has never earned the recognition it deserves. But when something that matters, no more bottom feeders. I want a whale.
Robert Pattinson is To Catch a Predator host Chris Hansen in the first trailer for Prime Time. The psychological thriller follows the reality TV series that set up sting operations aimed at child predators. Merritt Weaver and Skylar Gisondo co-star. Pattinson also produced the film, which opens in theaters September 25th.
You know, I can perform for the people in the room.
Phoebe Bridgers is debuting her first solo album since 2020 in some unusual rooms. She'll hold listening parties for Lost Weekend in planetariums around the U.S. and Europe. The events, August 10th through the 15th, will feature either laser shows or custom shows by a night sky photographer. Don't live near a planetarium? Listening parties in more than 300 cities will take place August 13th, the day Lost Weekend is released. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Mining giant Glencore Limited announced its second quarter earnings this week, and the international mining company is seeing a boost in revenue. The company announced its pre-tax revenue was up 86% in the first half of the year. That translates into a net income of $4.4 billion US, compared to a loss of $600 million during the same period last year. Glencore CEO Gary Nagle said in a press release the conflict in the Middle East may have caused market instability, but the company began the year with a well-supplied energy complex and was able to capitalize early on. Meantime, the federal government has another opportunity to help support the steel industry in Sault Ste. Marie. That from some around the council table, including the city's mayor, pushing for support of a resolution about defense procurements. Specifically, the resolution to go to the federal government supporting Rochelle Algoma Defense Solutions in constructing light armored vehicles in the Sioux with Algoma steel. There is another bid in the mix. The resolution will come before council Monday night. The Canadian economy churned out a surprising 75,000 jobs in July, when most economists had expected about 15,000 jobs to be created. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez reports.
The big number helped bring the unemployment rate down to 6.4%. The 75,000 jobs created were split between full and part-time work. The biggest gain made in the core age group, those between 24 and 54 years old. There were 52,000 more people working in Ontario in July at 18,000 in BC. Jobs in wholesale and retail trade made the biggest gains. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.73 US. West Texas Intermediate is up to 78.18 US a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up over $2 to 61.05. And the TSX closed in new record territory, up 244 points to 36,381. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold jumped $101.79, closing the day at $43.41.92 US an ounce. Silver is up $1.97. Copper is down 9 cents, and nickel is up 4 cents, ending the day at $7.62 US a pound. Her Northern Voice is hitting the stage at Bell Park in Sudbury tonight and will run all weekend long. Let's go back to Amanda Hicks one last time this evening. Amanda, tell us, what can people expect over the next few days?
The energy is electric here at Bell Park. There's lots going on as people filter in, without a doubt, excited for the first show about to hit the stage in a few moments' time, and that is Cass and Jack, followed by 21. And then, of course, Canadian rocker Lee Aaron is going to hit the stage to close out the show tonight. But, of course, that's not all. There's Susan Aglukark tomorrow, and then there's Chantal Kreviasek on Sunday night to close out the festival. During the day, there's of course lots going on, lots of free activities, lots of fun for what is without a doubt going to be a massive weekend. Ian.
Sounds like a big one indeed. Thanks, Amanda. Tony's back now for one last look at the weather, and hopefully they get some good weather down there.
Not so bad this evening, but overnight it's going to be wet. Let's take a look at your forecast, starting with Sudbury. 23 degrees tomorrow, sun, cloud, and a risk of thunderstorms. Timmins, very soggy day. 23 degrees, thunderstorms expected. Sault Ste. Marie, 21, and a 30% chance of showers as we head on over to North Bay. A risk of thunderstorms, 24. That's the normal temperature, folks, for this time of year. And through Parry Sound, sun, cloud, and a risk of thunderstorms. And to Misqueam Shores, wet and 22 degrees. Ian.
Keep that umbrella handy. Thanks, Tony. Finally, tonight, if you bought a lottery ticket in Sudbury, you might be a millionaire. OLG says a $1 million gold ball jackpot ticket was sold somewhere in Greater Sudbury. The draw took place Wednesday night and hasn't been claimed. You can find the winning numbers on OLG's website. All right, we're off to go check our lotto tickets. That's our newscast this Friday night. Make sure to tune in at 11:30. Amanda Hicks will be in the chair for me, and I'm heading off for a couple weeks, so have a happy, healthy, and safe summer. If you're heading out anywhere, enjoy. Your next News for the North returns Monday night. Until then, thanks for watching. Good night.